What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Season 7, Episode 13. So in this episode, the team, they do a test, in the bubble. There's so basically there's like some thermal tests to try to provoke a reaction. And, basically, so apparently there's like a physical boundary hovering above the ranch inside the mesa. So they should just, honestly, I'd say just get some dynamite to blow up the mesa. I'd say that's what they should do, but whatever. But then there's some interference again. Like with every experiment, there's like always some interference. Don't know why they can't just use more analog stuff to deal with that, because analog's really not going to get really any interference like that, or at least not severe enough to where they can't do anything. I mean, really, whatever. But yeah, so fine episode. That was decent. We'll see how obviously this season's about to end, so we'll see how the finale will go next week. Clevatess, season 2, episode 6. So in this episode, Andrew's about to cut off Alicia's head, but Rod arrives and starts questioning him. And yeah, so basically then you have um Andrew like identifies like Rod's past, and Rod's about to leave, and Vorden tells Andrew to attack Rod, trying the tree, but Vorn's salamander tells Alicia what story about like a true hero, you know, before like the tree that she's trapped in, crushes her. But Alicia, she's bleeding, but she's able to break free due to runic symbol and immortality. And Rod's able to survive, thanks to some weapon he has which is made from whatever remains of Doral's sword. So the school, so while this is going, a lot of students are fighting against Clean's monsters, and Sarasa is making more myths to help Clean. So now school's being evacuated, and some dark beasts attack Nay and Mary. But the beasts are hard to kill, but fire's effective against them. And Owen leads a group and slays and kills a bunch of monsters, but most of the people with him are killed. And he tries to find these weapons that 13 heroes had left behind. And students are able to defeat the monsters, and Vorden speaks into the minds of the students and makes them like try to get the book from Clint. Now Nay doesn't hear the voice, and so Andrew overpowers Rod, but Gart is able to save Rod and warns Andrew about what could happen if with Andrew using Vorden's power. Andrew basically dismisses like Gart's warning, and Rod knocks him out. Gart reveals to Rod that the little beast right there is Alicia, and Alicia can see Gart's beast form, and Gart then tells Alicia to tell him everything. So yeah, stuff's picking up. See, I thought it was a great episode. Just strip carnage all around. Like it's just straight bloody carnage, and it's freaking awesome. Yeah. So, and it's freaking awesome. So yeah, I thought it was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Under 3, episode 6. So in this episode, you have Futaba on the alien ship. You have, she's just walking around, basically alone, and she comes across this little like mice bat thing. That the only thing you can say is like Q, and so she calls it Q-chan, and so and basically, they're both just smile at each other, like playing, and Futaba like pokes a hole through like the little containment chamber Q-chan's in, and Q-chan flies out, start playing, then they fall asleep and like cuddle, whatever. And then so then at like the second half you have like, Segami like basically returns to like, the resistance like headquarters, prepare for like the battle. He wonders like, if he's actually able to fight the aliens, but he wants to kill some aliens because of what happened to his father. So then the battle starts. Like the actual combat. So yeah, it's gonna the mission starts. Basically kind of like the first time that's really like I mean first time you really saw like humans fight back against these aliens. So yeah, the Shibuya mission. So they're doing like guerrilla warfare, and Sumeragi gives Segami a weapon called Suyo Kunaru. You know, it's should help. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting how the rest of this battle goes. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. The Thunder 3 guess aren't really like aren't in this fight. I guess like the Resist doesn't want children involved. Understandable. And it's funny. So during the whole briefing, you have like Segami sees like this really hot like this. He sees like this blonde lady with like big tits, and he's like, dang. And like so and the blonde like winks at him, whatever. So that was very funny. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Rare King, episode 6. So in this episode, Juhyun confronts Quan, and Quan like uses his own relic and uses the power a little too much, and the crow appears and warns Quan to not do that, cause like, and so basically, Quan like it causes a tomb to appear, and Anubis, the Egyptian god of death, awakens. So yeah, everyone else is paralyzed. Juhyun like and takes Anubis's trial, and then basically Juhyun's able to defeat Anubis and take the relic. And yeah, and Juhyun when passes, he refuses to like just take the relic. He forces Anubis to restart the trial so he could do it at his own terms, and so he claims the relic and forces the tomb to be sealed. And then now Quan, well, after that, Quan tries to force Jian to work for him, but Juhyun's able to like use the power of Burabusa, and even though Quan has like a healing relic, Juhyun's able to like basically beat him up, leave him like he's knocked out and like he's beaten bad. So yeah, so a lot of stuff with the relics are picking up. So yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Interesting to see like how things are gonna go like with the rest of the show. With like looks like relics are really about to start appearing. We'll see what happens with all these tombs. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.